Fight the power, everyone. It's Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Devin, joined as always by my friends Lauren and Bruce, and today, as usual, we are moving forward with Sonic the Comic and have some interesting stuff going on today.
Yeah?
Although we're starting off relatively standard. We're starting off here with Breakout, Kitching, and Dobbin. Sonic and Tails free the last Emerald Hill citizens from Metropolis Prison, and Robotnik takes matters into his own hands.
Yes.
We're breaking dudes out, Tails is carrying them over the wall, and I say standard, but we do have one nice thing, which is Eggman is piloting a mech.
Yeah.
After a few pages, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a rarity in these comics. You know, we start with...
we haven't gotten that recently.
That's true.
We're starting with fighting troopers, and yeah, like I said, raising them over the wall. Sonic's got his blue arms problem again.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's a pretty common issue in this era of Sonic.
Apparently, these are the last of everyone who was living in Emerald Hill.
Yes.
So, Robotnik.
Yeah, I guess that means that
Emerald Hill's
Sonic's
completely.
Yeah, he's basically freed his entire hometown, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because, you know... Later comics, I don't know if they'll exactly do this, but they talk a lot about, like, oh, you know, I don't have any more prisoners left, but it's like, there's more than just Emerald Hill in Metropolis, but,
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I don't know. But, Robotnik is fucking pissed. He is strangling Grimer out of anger, the rage in his face.
Yes.
That's another great Robotnik face.
Indeed.
So yeah, he's got this spider egg mech, that he's gonna use to try and chase Sonic down, as they are working to get the Star Post to take them to Angel Island, like before. So Sonic's got to fight the spider while Tails secures the prisoners. I'm actually looking, is there a single page of this where Sonic's arms are colored correctly? I don't think there is.
Gosh.
Then maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single drawing of that. But,
Yeah, even later in the comic when Sonic is a little different, his arms are still colored wrong.
Yeah.
That's kind of impressive.
I like this moment because, you know, Tails is trying to secure the prisoners, Sonic's fighting the spider mech, and he gets grabbed, and he's like, alright, well, do the villain thing and explain how you found us before you kill me. And then Robotnik's like, okay, and then he just throws him at a wall.
It is revealed later that he apparently
did actually explain it. Not really
sure
how he did it, but it really does look like Robotnik said sure, and then just yeets him at a wall.
That would be funny.
They cut to Tails, so I assume that's when he's telling him, but...
right, yeah.
Yeah. Tails thinks Sonic is dead, but Super Sonic bursts out of the wall, which is pretty cool.
Always cool.
I mean, it's cool, but, like, I'm tired of this. Like...
Super Sonic being used as a bit of Deus Ex Machina is getting a little boring.
I hate that it's not attached to the Chaos Emerald, so it's just like, oh, he's about to die. Oh, no, he's going to turn Super Sonic.
I
wonder if Robotnik knows about it, because he seems really surprised that this happens, and I wasn't surprised. I'm like, yeah, okay, he's almost dead, whatever.
Has Robotnik actually encountered Super Sonic yet?
This is the first time they've ever appeared in an issue together.
I thought so. I think every other time has been either a badnik or something related to a badnik.
Yeah, it's weird to consider that Brutus saw Super Sonic before Robotnik did.
Yeah.
He wouldn't bother mentioning it.
Well, especially now.
I don't. That's in character, but yeah. Sonic he blasts directly into the mech and punches Eggman through the windshield, which is a pretty awesome panel.
Yes.
Oh yeah, anytime we get a supersonic fight, it's got some really good moments.
Yeah, and then I'm mixed feelings about this next part where Supersonic loses track of his target and goes after one of the prisoners instead.
This has happened before, hasn't it?
It checks out, yeah.
Yes, but in this case, it's like, oh no, Sonic fucked up. The dude explodes. He's dead.
Sonic killed a man.
Yeah, and Tails is like, Sonic, no, you killed one of them. And then Sonic's like, wait, no, which one? Oh, it's that one? Oh, that's fine.
Which one? Yeah, that is so... Oh my god.
It feels like a cop-out.
Last week, with Knuckles almost getting the kid killed.
Yeah, except that was a lot less Knuckles' fault, which, I mean, the degree to which Sonic has agency over Super Sonic, fair enough, I guess we can argue about that, but...
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's another, like, oh, you almost killed an innocent person.
No, that's totally fair.
yeah, he was a badnik in disguise. That's the reveal for our watchers.
He was being used to track them.
Yeah, but it's like, Super Sonic's wanton destruction, oh, I guess it's a good thing,
It works.
Yeah, it works out,
I feel like just, it would be a lot improved if they just had a moment where it's like, well, still, that was too close,
Sure, yeah, just one extra frame would have been perfect.
Yeah.
He's very casual about it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, good, I didn't kill any of the ones I actually care about.
But in any case, we did win. The prisoners are free, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, relatively standard. Some okay moments here or there. At least we got Sonic versus Robotnik. So often it's Sonic versus a minion.
Yeah.
But moving on, we have Sonic versus Shortfuse. Oh my god, that's a whole ass man.
Angle.
That is a terrible angle.
Stringer and Hadley. Shortfuse the Cybernik falls under Dr. Robotnik's control and attacks Sonic, and apparently gets... whole ass man proportions.
Mind you, this is exactly something Sonic was worried about happening.
This was something foreshadowed, yeah.
Yeah, so interesting.
We don't start. That is to say, Shortfuse falling under Robotnik's control was foreshadowed, not him having a whole ass man body.
No.
Yeah, Shortfuse and Techno are doing something. They just say the tests are going good. I don't know what that means.
I think Techno's just been working on upgrading him or something.
Yeah, maybe. But alarm goes off. We've got some egg robos here to fight.
It's really funny. Before that happened, Techno is like, fancy a bite? And then Shortfuse is like, no, I'm a cybernetic Techno. I don't
eat Techno. Edgy.
Gotta be so edgy, yeah.
It is very funny how much they try to make him brooding, and it just doesn't really work.
He's like only like occasionally brooding.
Yeah, it's like between panels he'll shift into brood mode.
Yeah.
In and out, because when he's fighting, he's basically like anybody else.
Sure, yeah.
And it's like I would play that up, right? Because he says, I absorb any energy by my soul receivers. They should play up like, oh, I can't eat, I can't know the pleasures of being able to feel stuff. I'm thinking like Alphonse in Fullmetal Alchemist, how he can't even sleep; he has to just sit there all night.
Yeah. That's a good comparison.
It's funny, I already compared Bunny to Alphonse. Anyway.
Well, they're both similar comparisons.
Yeah, I guess you'd compare Bunny to Shortfuse, really, but...
Yeah, honestly.
Anyway, Egg Robos. Shortfuse is happy to fight them, but they have this, like, control disc?
Mm-hmm.
They just chuck it, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, I guess... The other egg robos were distracting him, so the one that had the control disc could get it. Yeah. Stupid, but whatever.
Funny. But now he's under Robotnik's control, and he's gonna go kill Sonic the Hedgehog.
Typical Robotnik being like, all right, I have Shortfuse now.
Shortfuse, let's immediately use him to kill Sonic.
We could do something sneaky. We just go destroy Sonic.
So he heads to Rocky Desert Zone. 7 out of 10 zone name. That could be in the games.
That could,
yeah.
Sonic and Friends.
Games.
Yeah. That's a Sonic Blast level, maybe.
Yeah.
Sonic and Friends are cleaning up after a badnik fight. And here's Shortfuse. He's already shooting lasers. And... well, it's a whole fight, Sonic bounces off a lot because he's made out of very reinforced metal. I don't know if I have anything to say about the action, because Sonic, he's kind of a one note with the spin dashing everywhere.
The more fighting we get, the less there is to talk about it, because the fighting, it's not a whole lot to it.
There's nothing super remarkable about this fight either.
Sure.
I guess he kicks up some dust to obscure his vision, but that's not what lets him win. What lets him win is Techno shows up and knocks the disc off.
Easy control, easy uncontrol.
Apparently.
You know what? Fair enough, actually. It was really easy to take control, so why wouldn't it be easy to reverse it?
Okay, but that's the end of the story. That's it.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. Well, and you'd think, because Techno has not really met the whole group yet, and you'd think that maybe that'd be more of a significant event, especially given how much she ends up orbiting Amy. But it's really just, hi, I'm his friend. Let me help. Goodbye.
Yeah, like, so I don't understand. Is this like foreshadowing that Shortfuse can be so easily controlled? We got to be more wary, or is this it?
I have a feeling that this is probably it, but I'm hoping it's the other way around.
Robotnik says, I won't fail my next thing.
Right.
It's just a weird way of doing that.
He says, I'll make sure my next attempt is permanent. Applying it's an attempt at controlling him. I don't think he's going to make another attempt at controlling Shortfuse. He does have something else that he tries that I won't spoil, but I don't know. Very, very throwaway story on the whole.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, well.
Speaking of which, movie madness, Stringer and Hadley. Sonic discovers auditions for the part of himself in a movie, and the gang heads to Squealbird Studios to check out the production.
I feel like they can't possibly be filming movies in this version of movie.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, who the hell not only filming a movie, but filming a movie about Sonic?
That's a good point. Like, Robotnik would be on that instantly.
Here's the question. Where the hell is this? You know, there's a lot of random unaffiliated towns in this world, and I can believe that, you know, that's why Sonic's fighting troopers here. He's getting Robotnik's influence out. But they seem awfully peaceful a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a movie magazine, and Sonic is having a movie made about him by Steven Squealbird.
Nice, okay.
Interesting pun or reference, I guess. I don't know. Either.
I mean, you got to do something, you know.
And Spielberg was still a big name in the 90s.
He's not a small name now.
Yeah, but when was the last time he directed something?
The Fabelmans, right? Wasn't that last year?
Was it?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't follow Spielberg.
Neither do I, and I Google his name, Gossip Girl comes up for some reason. Anyway.
He's probably going to direct Ready Player One too.
I kind of forgot that existed.
Yeah, good. Anyway, yes, Sonic is angry because he only wants Sonic to play Sonic.
Typical.
Although,
I mean, to be fair, who else would be playing the blue hedgehog?
I don't know. There aren't any other hedgehogs than Sonic and Amy in this comic.
Yeah.
All of the ones we've met have been Metamorphia.
That's true. Are we just going to use CGI? I mean...
Oh, he makes the real Sonic movie.
God.
I thought it would be funnier if he was trying to sue Steven Spielberg for using his face without permission. He didn't sign a release.
Oh, yeah.
But no, they go to the studio, and immediately this is extremely obviously suspicious.
Oh, yes. This guy is obviously either Robotnik in a disguise or a badnik.
It's very funny. Anytime a character's dialogue has a lot of umming and erring in it, you just know that they're lying about something in the series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At least Tails immediately realizes this is sus.
Yeah, he just flies up above the set a little bit and is like, oh, hey, there's troopers.
One of these troopers does look really excited to be working in the set. Like, he looks really happy.
I noticed that.
Well, and they're also wearing disturbing human costumes. There's a skin mask on the back of this one.
I saw that as well. That is creepy.
But yeah, we're trying to do the movie. Would Sonic even be a good actor? I don't know.
This Sonic, no.
Nope.
Yeah, he would be hard to work with in any case. But Squealbird is behind the camera and reveals he's actually Robotnik. What a surprise! And the camera is actually a tube of super hardening glue.
One of his stranger plans?
Yeah. You know, and based on the way that things were being paced, I was like, oh, you know, Tails got captured before, but he was the only one who didn't get stuck with the glue, so he's going to be the one to save everyone, right? No.
No, Sonic just is like, no, I'm cool.
Well, the glue hasn't hardened yet, so I'll just wrap it around you. Yeah. Done.
Oh, let's see how stretchy this glue is. Okay.
Yeah. So Robotnik's like, all right, well, I have a chemical compound that'll dissolve it. And then Sonic just bops him on the back of the head.
And Robotnik, once again, has this really not quite standard Eggmobile design to escape in. Just like
it's kind of a Thunderbird Eggmobile. I don't even know what that means.
Thunderbird. Eggmobile. Fascinating.
I've never watched Thunderbirds. I don't know why I made that comparison.
I have watched Thunderbirds, and I don't know why you made that comparison.
Also, Tails escapes on his own.
Oh, yeah.
So,
hey,
yeah.
We get to see more of Tails actually being competent.
Very early series feeling comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a big ball of blah, frankly.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we have something that is not that. This next story is Revolution. Written by Stringer, drawn by Kitching? Is that correct? Yeah. Again, I get weirded out whenever one of the writers is an artist. But Brutus makes his move in trying to usurp Robotnik, with Sonic and friends trapped in the middle of a war with no good side.
Let's go. It's about time.
Yeah. I've been foreshadowing this for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we got Badniks in Metropolis as usual, but aha! Some other robots show up and start destroying the conventional ones. They're the Brutus Badniks.
They fixed the designs to make them actually look like robots, but still be wacky.
Yeah. They look a little bit like the upgraded Badniks from the Cam and Bird comic.
Yeah.
A little.
But it's like, they're trying to get rid of the competition, you know? We got Badniks on Badnik violence. But, that's not, the enemy of my enemy is not your friend. It's the enemy of your enemy is your other enemy.
Exactly.
Brutus is making his move to replace Robotnik and conquer Mobius for himself.
Yeah, of course. Not like we really expected him to be anything but another Robotnik.
He also has a flying fortress of his own, which, did we see that before?
I'm gonna be honest, I glazed right over that. What the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know where he got that. I guess he built it.
Probably built it. He wants an imposing airship to come and attack with.
Yeah.
He's also got the constantly billowing cape, but
he is a villain.
Yeah.
I just realized, this is one of the Robotnik designs that doesn't have a cape, because in SatAM he does, doesn't he?
In SatAM he does. Yeah. In Adventures, it's based off more Adventures where he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Eggman is also monitoring all this, but he does give Sonic a chance to take a shot at Brutus, take a swing at him. But he bounces off and gets shot. No Super Sonic here, I guess.
Well, see, that should be a tip-off that he's not really dead. But,
sure, yeah.
He is based off Robotnik, so sure, Brutus just be like, okay, I got him. Moving along.
He is at least unconscious and not just pretending to be dead between the two parts.
Right.
But Sonic ends up waking up outside of the city, which means that Brutus is still in there conquering everything. And dropping rocks on these people? I don't know what's going on there. I guess that's rubble from the buildings, maybe?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
But it's really weird because Sonic wakes up, outside the city, as we say. Nobody put him here. Because nobody rescued Sonic from that. Like, Shortfuse shows up and I think, maybe he saved Sonic. No, he this is the first time they're meeting today. So how did he get here? He also says that Amy and Johnny are kidnapped. When did he was unconscious? How did he see that?
Assumption?
I guess.
Also, Shortfuse looking proportionally completely different now.
Yes, he looks a lot less like a whole-ass man and a lot more like a Sonic character.
Yeah, honestly, he looks way better than I think we've ever seen him right now.
This is the best look that he's had.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's up to the two of us. Robotnik's Badniks are being kind of destroyed by Brutus's, but Robotnik himself is not actually worried. Even as Brutus himself busts through the wall.
He did oversee the creation of Brutus.
Yeah, including the one thing that he actually did do it. It's funny that for both the Metallics and this, the thing that Robotnik had the biggest influence on was the self-destruct mechanism. He has a kill switch installed to blow up Brutus's head.
Yeah, I guess Robotnik is just that paranoid that the only thing he does for the robots anymore is design the method to kill them.
I mean, in fairness, they do keep betraying him.
They do, yeah. I can understand it.
But obviously Brutus found out about this, so it doesn't work.
That is nice, because the Metallics for some reason didn't know how to remove it, but I'm glad that Brutus does.
Well, and if he has Robotnik's memories, he probably has, the memory of installing his own brain implant? I don't know.
Maybe.
That's what I was thinking.
I guess it depends on when the scan was taken, but still. And he's like, all right, well, I'll just put a gun to your head. And he says, kill Robotnik. So, unfortunately, Sonic and Shorty interrupt to distract from all this.
I mean, hey, I don't know, with different writing, maybe they'd stop both of them.
This is one case where Sonic being slower would have made things turn out better.
Which is,
because it's not like Robotnik is instrumental to defeating Brutus.
No, yeah.
No, that's, well... Interesting. That actually, there's no reason to assume as such. Yeah. I mean, it's annoying, but like, I mean, I don't actually want Robotnik to get killed because that would be, and we get an Archie situation. And I do like that Brutus consistently pays more attention to Sonic, just like Robotnik would, because as soon as Sonic bursts in, he's like, "Wait, forget Robotnik, get Sonic."
Yeah. Fair enough. So they fight, they blow up the troopers, and Shortfuse, like, it is funny because he previously could have stood a little bit closer to Brutus's height if this were the last story, but he towers over him as he, like, talks shit about him. And they also clarify that they're made out of the same metal, which is, I think, good, because Sonic bounces off of them both kind of the same.
Yes, I like that. I'm not sure if that was originally intended or if that was just like a smart thing they threw in at this point. Either way, I like it.
A little bit of consistency.
Yeah.
But Robotnik and Grimer escape during this chaos while Brutus punches Shorty into the floor and threatens to kill Amy and Johnny, and Sonic is like, all right, well, I'll comply long enough to see that they've been badnicked.
Damn.
And these are Brutus badniks rather than Eggman badniks, so they look wacky.
Weird.
Yep.
I think it is interesting because we had, that Amy Badnick design from her first story, so we know what it could look like. But I also think that this is just how Kitching likes to draw weird badniks, because this is very much within his kind of Ratchet style.
Sure, well, and it helps them make them definitely look visually interesting.
Yeah, and I do like that Brutus has his own style.
Yeah.
No, it's great, yeah.
But Sonic has to fight his friends, We haven't had that since, I guess, the Tails cyborg.
I mean, he fought Shortfuse a few stories ago.
Shorty is not exactly his friend, though. They're like weird half-acquaintances.
Yes, that's true.
They have an agreement. They understand each other.
Yeah. So Sonic struggles with this, obviously, because it doesn't actually want to hurt his friends. Shortfuse gets punched through a wall by Brutus again. It's kind of funny that he ends up landing right next to the spot where Amy throws Sonic here. But, it's funny because Sonic is holding back. Shortfuse isn't, because he straight up shoots a laser and blows up Johnny Bot's head.
I'm glad Johnny's okay.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, you'd think that would cause, like, a serious problem, but nope. Totally fine. Just destroys the casing around it, I guess. Which, I don't know. That feels like Sonic is being way too paranoid if he still feels the need to hold back. When he's the weapon, He's a laser blast is way more dangerous. But, I don't know. Anyway, Amy Bot launches a huge volley of, I guess, crossbow bolts, because that's her weapon. Johnny Robot didn't get any kind of bludgeoning tools. He just had lasers.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of disappointing.
But meanwhile, Robotnik and Grimer have retreated underground to take control of the war armor. It is Robotnik suit of armor. It's not really. It doesn't really feel quite Robotnik-y, but it's a mech suit.
No, it's true. Like, the design isn't great, but I'm still all for Robotnik suiting up and being like, all right, I'm gonna do this myself.
Better for him to participate in fights.
Yeah.
It's honestly kind of interesting, right? Because in the games, so many boss fights in every stage are Robotnik. Sometimes you get, a badnik to fight, but in the comics and the TV shows, Robotnik himself holds back so much.
Well, it does make these kinds of moments more special, to be fair.
Yeah, and that's probably why they do it. I guess I'm trying to remember back to, like, Adventures of Sonic, and it's like, usually it's like Scratch and Grounder or mini-bosses, but they fight Robotnik at a certain point in most episodes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anywho, So Brutus tracks them down to their underground bunker, but the war armor is a big mech suit, so he's gonna fight him. I wish it had been the Death Egg robot, is I think what I wish.
True.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Robotnik versus Brutus, cool idea for a fight.
Oh, yeah.
And, in fact, those crossbow bolts, from memory, are not just crossbow bolts, they're sonic-seeking missiles.
Nice.
So he just kind of redirects them back at her, and, again, that should be more dangerous than anything. There's dozens of them, and it only takes a few to destroy the Badnik casing. He's lucky that he didn't just fill his friend with steel spikes here.
Amy's too strong for that.
Yeah. Yeah, Amy is obviously safe, and she tries to mac on Sonic for, like, the first time since her introduction. It really seems like it's just kind of a case of when Sonic does something heroic that makes her attracted to him, rather than she actually genuinely loves him.
I guess.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
I mean, you know, your brain is generally hard-coded to feel some affection if somebody saves your life.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, that's what I was thinking of, like, does that make sense? I guess it does, kind of.
Not that I would kiss Sonic if he saved my life.
I wouldn't kiss Sonic at all. Too much hair.
Yeah. Anyway, Brutus bursts out of the ground mid-battle with Eggman. I guess Eggman punched him through the ground like Shortfuse getting punched through the ground.
God, I hope so.
And Sonic and friends are like, well, let's just sit back and watch, I guess.
Yeah, they have no reason to get involved.
And I really wish that this had been more of a battle.
Yeah.
I know they've only got so much page space.
Sure. It's still underwhelming.
Yeah, it's like Brutus fires one laser, says he's as smart as Robotnik. Robotnik's like, I've gotten smarter since you were built. And then just freeze rays him.
Which I'm not 100% sure if that's actually true.
So I'm just going to assume that this special fantasy metal is very susceptible to being cold.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't... Well, and I mean, he's got sensors, servos, you know, it could have... Maybe it's not just freezing him on the outside, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, electronics and computers, while they do prefer to be cold, you don't want to get them too cold or condensation is an issue. Not that matters, being Robotnik punches him apart.
You want them chilled, you want them cool, you don't want them frozen.
Yeah, you want them running, you know, at an optimal temperature, not a literal freezing temperature.
Yeah, you want like 40 degrees or something.
For the most part. I mean, I think quantum computers can be run cooler, but they're an entirely different can of worms.
Yeah, you don't need those to play
Doom.
I was trying to think of a funnier game, but my brain just said like Dark Souls 2. That's not that good a joke.
Either way.
Anyway, yeah.
The fight, yes, I agree, is a bit underwhelming. Honestly, I don't have super high expectations for fights. I like the moment, though. I like that it's Robotnik that takes care of Brutus.
I do like that part.
And Robotnik has been dunked on lately. Grimer seems like he does all the work. So no, Robotnik can still get things done when he really wants to. He's not just being lazy.
He needed this moment, and much as it doesn't feel like a Robotnik mech, the fact that he just punches the crap out of him is awesome.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Thing is, I was waiting for an Et tu Brutus, but it never came.
No, it really didn't.
Darn.
The thing I was kind of expecting.
Yeah, well, I guess he'd have to win for that to make sense. So,
I mean, Robotnik could say it to him instead.
Yeah, but Sonic and friends decide, all right, we better get out of Dodge. So they leave, but we do end on a long televised speech from Robotnik proclaiming his power and dominance.
I really like this moment because on the one hand, you could be like, oh wow, look how close to defeat Robotnik was. Like his iron grip is slipping a little bit, but instead Robotnik is like, look, I can survive an attack like that, so now you truly know how invincible I am.
Yeah, if anything, this has just made his resolve harder.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to get it, I don't want to get into power scaling, really, but if we were to do that, Sonic couldn't beat Brutus on his own, but Robotnik can, so...
Robotnik had the ability to do it fairly easily within reason.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic didn't really help Robotnik defeat Brutus here. He mostly just got rid of the problems that Brutus caused for him.
Yeah.
He also phrases this as the revolution being over. It was more like a coup, though, right?
Yeah, a coup is a better description. I think they just wanted to use the word revolution.
It's a better title.
I think it's also that, we had the protests and riots last week, so it's like I kind of wish those tied together a little bit better. It would have been kind of cool if he, like, rallied up support for himself, but then also roboticized them anyway.
Oh, that would be awesome. It was still pretty good, though. I really liked this story.
No, it's a good story. I am glad that we got to do it.
I mean, yeah, overall it was still solid.
And that is going to be mostly the last we see of Brutus. There's a moment here or there in other stories, but
interesting.
More of a throwback, if you get it.
That makes more sense.
But we are not done tonight. We've got like 6 more stories, I think. I don't know. Going here with the Fundamental Four, Kitching and Dobbin. The Chaotix are attacked by 4 elemental supervillains, and Charmy B may be the only key to saving them.
I guess it's the special zone. I guess it is the special zone. Got to expect some weirdness.
And weirdness we will find. Starting here at the Chaotix house?
Yeah, they have a house.
Yeah, it's their headquarters.
I guess it's like their office in the games.
Yeah.
But Charmy is getting kicked out because he's annoying.
Jesus, he's not even that annoying, guys.
They hate this boy so much just for talking funny.
He's just a happy little dude. Come on.
I never thought that this comic would make me into a Charmy defender, but...
Oh my gosh.
It immediately proves to be... I guess I don't know if I would call it a bad decision or a good decision, because it ends up being good in the long run because they don't have to deal with him, but something punches through their wall. It's the Fundamental Four.
My favorite element, gravel.
Yeah.
Set of 4 villains based off the 4 elements: Hydran, Gravel, Squall, and Flare. And Flare was definitely a lot of people's fan character name, but they are attacking.
It's closest to looking like a fan character too, really.
That's true, yeah.
Squall is at least kind of a bat dude, but
yeah.
Yeah, they're attacking because I don't know why.
They just escaped prison, and I guess the Chaotix sent them to prison?
Yeah, that's my inference.
Yeah, I suppose so. They also appear to not get along very well. It's funny, because, like, Squall whirls them up in a tornado, and Flare tries to burn them, but almost hits Hydran, and then they just argue about it while the Chaotix get their footing.
Yeah.
Hydran being, by the way, like, a ball full of water, but having, like, weird...
A rubber suit or something.
I guess it's like a wetsuit full of water?
Yeah, I think so.
Quite weird. Like, the other ones are just, like, the element, and then Hydran is this weird thing.
Well, it is also weird, because as I said, Squall and Flare both look like they were, animal person characters. The others just look like... Yeah, I don't know. But Chaotix get their footing, but it doesn't matter, because they get trounced again anyway. And I don't know what's up with Gravel's speech. I was not sure if it was like some kind of thick accent, but I think it's just gibberish.
Okay, I was trying to sit... Every time he was speaking, I sat there for like a solid few seconds to try and figure out what he was saying.
Because they respond to him and he can say their names, and they bold certain words, Ken Pender style. I guess a lot of comics do that. I don't know if I can even blame Pender, because this comic does that all over the place anyway.
No, we'll keep blaming him.
Okay. Yeah, but I think it's just made up words. But because it's not Sonic who's rejecting him, Charmy is tasked with saving the other 3 Chaotix. We don't get to just have Sonic save the day. He has to go back to the Hive for support. Also, apparently the Elementals, or Fundamentals, are planning to liquefy the Chaotix.
Why is there an execution chamber in the Chaotix house?
Why is it liquefy them? That's gotta be like the worst way to execute someone.
There's a lot of painful ways to die.
Let's move along, shall we?
Yes.
Charmy is coming here with the troops. Apparently there's like some sort of drama or something, because like one of the worker bees is like, wow, I'm surprised that like the queen listened to you, Charmy, because you've been away for a while. It's like, yeah, I have like, stuff I have to do.
Yes, Charmy has not been home in months, and he's like, I'm busy with the Chaotix saving the world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think the phrasing, the way that he ums and ers his way through it, is meant to imply that the Chaotix don't actually do all that much work. I think the idea is they kind of laze about, but I struggle to understand what are they supposed to be doing? Are they like superheroes? What are they? They call them the Guardians of the Special Zone.
Yeah, I thought they were supposed to be like out there doing fit. Yeah, sure. Doing stuff in the Special Zone, like catching criminals and stuff.
Well, it's implied that they have in the past.
Yeah, but it also seems to be that they don't. Or they're like really bad at it.
It's also weird because I'm gonna spoil you guys a little bit here. Once we do see more of the Special Zone, place is absolutely lousy with superheroes. So I don't know. But yes, Charmy and all of his bee pals burst in to attack the Fundamental Four, and they cut open Hydran's wetsuit and he spills out.
That is. Jesus Christ.
And they use that to turn gravel to mud, shovel it onto Squall, and you'd think that like they do something with that to put out Flare, but no, that's disconnected. They say the other three guys have been mixed into a high-octane fuel, which they fire at her, which makes her burn out of control?
Sure.
This is so like flawlessly executed. I wonder if like these guys maybe did all the work the first time the Fundamental Four.
You know what?
Captured.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like, are they captured? Are they just dead?
No, you can see their faces.
No, I know. Yeah. They end up getting somehow burning all this produces a vase, a pot even.
Yeah, a vase or vase.
Do you remember the episode of Last Airbender where they're trying to get him into the Avatar state and they're like, we're going to mix all four elements together, and then they just fire mud at him because that's all it ends up making. But yes, Vector correctly identifies that this is a really dumb ending.
Yeah, and he's like, I can't stand it. All of you get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, wow, thanks for saving us. No, just get out.
The other bees don't talk like Charmy, so what is your problem with them?
Maybe they're just racist.
Maybe.
Yeah, and it's weird because, yeah, Charmy and his family did all of this work to save the day, and Vector not only doesn't apologize for kicking them out of the house, he kicks all of them out for the crime of being bees.
Yeah. Yeah, Vector racist arc, I guess.
It's worse than Sonic being smug even when Tails does nothing wrong, because like, this is more like if Tails objectively saved Sonic's life, and Sonic's like, good job, and then kicked him in the head or something. And it's funny, because when we first met the Chaotix, I was like, hey, Vector's leading the charge. This is an adaptation that didn't turn him into a joke. And I would say, in general, Sonic the Comics still mostly doesn't, but this does not reflect well on him at all.
Not really.
Yeah, I assume that Charmy will be back in the next Chaotix story, but it would be funnier if he was gone.
If he just fucks off.
Yeah.
That being the thing that Archie and Fleetway have in common is that they both get rid of Charmy as soon as they can. But no, he does just hang with them. Damn. So, yeah, okay story, but just bizarre with regards to the Charmy dynamic.
Yeah.
So let's move along to more comfortable territory with Knuckles. This is
Knuckles.
Troubled Waters, Kitching and Dobbin. Knuckles makes the long voyage home to Angel Island with his new schematics, but faces nautical danger along the way.
My boy Knuckles never gets to catch a break.
God.
Yep. He does, well, somebody got him a boat at least.
Yeah, but he has to go all the way back on his own.
He doesn't even have a fucking guide stone this time. Oh, that was a different comic.
I'm amazed that you remembered that, frankly.
Guiding Star Gem.
I like these alien rock formations he's rowing by.
There's some interesting stuff in the background.
It's cool though. I like it. There's some places in the world that you just don't see that often that have maybe not these kind of rock formations, but just things that look alien.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's some tentacles to attack him. They destroy the boat. So no, he cannot catch a fucking break. Better keep a tight hold on your box, Knuckles.
Yeah.
Which he immediately doesn't do.
Well, he takes refuge on some rocks, but Tentacruel destroys those too.
Tentacruel.
Yeah, spoiling that those are all a bunch of tentacles attached.
Right. Yeah, not like worms or something.
He initially thinks that they're separate badniks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Not badniks at all, actually.
I didn't even recognize that. It felt obvious to me. But yes, Knuckles is forced underwater, and yes, he's referring to them as badniks. I didn't even really recognize them as robotic.
They don't really look robotic until you get to see all of it.
Yeah, but the cockpit emerges as Knuckles barely gets ashore, not even ashore, just to the surface. And it is a big Kraken bot piloted by Captain Claw, a crab man.
Have we seen him before?
No.
I don't think so.
It felt like they were trying to imply that he's not a new character.
Maybe? I don't know.
But I didn't remember him, so...
Yeah. So Knuckles dives below to attack this thing, but it electrocutes him. So he retreats to higher ground. He also tries to attack it outside the water, but it bounces off. He retreats to higher ground, and I'm wondering, like, what the hell happened to the box? You know? There's so much rock destruction in this story, and I just didn't even see where it went.
It's fine.
It ends up being fine, which I feel is a little bit of a cop-out, but
yeah.
Captain Claw is inevitably hoisted by his own petard when attacking because he collapses the rocks on himself.
You know, this defeat feels a lot like how you defeat a boss in a Sonic game.
You know what? Yeah.
Well, my mind goes to, Twinkle Snow from Advance 3, where you have to drop the platforms on him?
Mm.
Yeah.
Fuck that boss, by the way. Anyway,
Well.
Yes, so Knuckles is like, oh crap, where did the box go? And it's just sitting over there on the rock. I don't even know how it got there.
I mean,
but it's fine.
He had a shore, and I guess it just stayed there and was fine. It avoided all the...
Yeah, sure.
Very convenient, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fine. But Knuckles doesn't have a boat now, so he forces the Optimus Man to row them back to civilization on his own broken, shitty robot. So, yeah, decent little action romp. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing bad about it.
But some very bad things will happen here in Running Wild, Kitching and Elson. Through a series of misunderstandings, Sonic transforms into Super Sonic and all hell breaks loose.
Good summary.
Yes. So we are on Angel Island, but Knuckles isn't here. We're just hanging around the Emerald Chamber.
That's because Sonic is checking up on Porker, which is funny, because Porker starts to talk. He's like, I don't want to hear your boring stories, Porker. I'm just here to see how you're doing.
Yeah, that's like, don't tell me about your day, tell me about your day.
Yeah, fuck you, don't tell me how you're doing. By the way, how you doing?
Yeah, it's weird because they clearly want. It feels like they want to write Sonic a little bit differently. They want to make him not be a jerk to his friends and just be here to hang out, but they are also still sort of slipping into old habits. But hey, remember that robot, the Guardian robot? The head is still around, and it attacks. I think it's really weird because Sonic is standing on the pedestal, and the edge crumbles right after it speaks, and Lewis blames the robot, so I assume that means it did something, right?
That's a good question. I didn't question that.
That is weird. It doesn't look like it attacks. I think the idea was he was, like, surprised and lost his balance, but
it's what it looks
too,
like,
so...
Yeah, I don't get it. But it's bad because Sonic is falling into a hole.
And what happens when Sonic's in danger?
I like that Porker starts freaking out preemptively because Lewis knows what happens.
Oh yeah, he does.
And look who's coming out of the hole. It's Super Sonic. And hey,
extra demony today.
Indeed.
He's also acting a little differently too.
He seems a little bit more what's the right word? Like not really calm, but less...
more thoughtful, less kill everything instantly.
More thoughtful, that's a good way to put it. He seems a lot more... He's a lot more, like, thinking about things. Granted, his immediate thought is, I need to kill Amy.
Yes, so You guys were complaining before about how Supersonic, his use in this comic has been kind of lackluster, and this is doing a lot of work to change that, but it's very, very sudden, and it really just comes down to, I was talking about Amy before, so now I have to kill her.
I mean, a story that revolves around Supersonic being the problem? Alright, yeah, I'll take it. I didn't expect that.
Well, that's an interesting change of Supersonic's dynamic, because normally he's just used as the Deus Ex Machina. Just,
exactly.
Oh, Sonic's almost died. Oh, let's whip out Supersonic. No, now he's the problem.
But now, yeah, and I think that this actually ends up improving those previous stories, because there was always the threat of like, oh, what if Sonic loses control?
He did go wild, right?
And now he finally is.
Right.
Yeah,
well, if he just lets loose and goes wild.
And he rockets off. He flies straight through a Badnik ship without even noticing he did it.
That was kind of rad.
It's like that guy from The Boys. I have not watched The Boys,
God.
but it's good. It's good. I like it. And Amy herself is busy watching Tails do poorly at Link's crossbow training, the greatest Wii game ever made.
Jesus Christ!
You gosh darn wrong, actually. But yeah, this is a interesting moment because Tails is like, oh, I'm so bad at this, Amy. Do I really have to train? And he's like, because you could be a sharpshooter in my place. And Amy's like, well, you know, Tails, I may not be around someday. What?
For almost instant foreshadowing.
I assume that they're doing that because Supersonic is coming to try and kill her. But
it's still funny though. It's just like, I might not be around. It's like when you're like. Your grandpa says something like that.
Yeah. I'm wondering when exactly the Amy and Techno stories started, because Amy also isn't around because she starts going on space adventures.
Jesus.
But, in any case, Johnny shows up because Lewis did call to warn that this was going to happen.
Right. Smart. Glad that the writers thought of that.
Yeah. But Sonic is faster. He's here to fuck shit up. And Tails ages 30 years in a single page.
I love that face so much. He looks like he's like 40 all of a sudden.
Amy also kind of has an odd look on her face, too.
She looks a bit more like Sonic.
It's because the wind sweeps her hair, so she gets Sonic's hairstyle.
Right, yeah.
But he blasts through, barely misses Amy, and destroys the circus caravan.
Well, can't use that cover anymore.
Darn.
Yeah, status quo changes. They're happening.
Yeah.
And there keeps being these moments where they're like, oh, you know, he'll go back to normal because, you know, he just has to rage for a bit.
Right.
And they keep waiting. It's not happening, though.
Normal.
This is real bad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. He chases him down with laser eyes. Did he have laser eyes before now?
I do not think he did, but it's a great addition.
I'm not complaining.
We don't see him for very long, so, like, that's fine.
No, it's not that I think he couldn't have had them before, but...
Oh, no, it's totally likely that he could have had them, but it's just, like, all out of nowhere. He just shoots lasers.
He swerves in flight again and misses again, hitting a mountain, blowing up a mountain this time.
Bro's not very smart.
I think it's that when you're thrashing around like that, you get less coordinated.
Oh, sure, yeah.
He gets buried under rubble, but of course he is not hurt. Everyone runs to Tornado, or I guess it's just the plane. I don't think it's called the Tornado in this, but Amy has a plan, and well, I think you can kind of easily identify what the plan ends up being. Because
sure, yeah.
You flip the next page. Supersonic sees the plane taking off, and he blasts it with laser eyes, and it explodes. But you don't see anybody in there.
Nah, they're clearly dead.
Yep.
But then we get this amazing page of Supersonic just cackling like a madman to himself.
God.
I love him. He's so proud of being evil.
Yes.
But after this, he finally calms back down to normal Sonic and realizes what he just did.
Damn.
And this full page drawing of Sonic standing in the carnage is awesome.
That is some great art.
This story is it's good. It's good shit.
I mean, this is a solid ass story.
And that would have been a great cliffhanger for readers, because I know that you probably would know that they're not dead, but that as a character moment for Sonic is big.
True.
Honestly, I feel like that should have been the ending of the story and then cut to something else. Let you think about that for a little bit.
Well, I don't know how this is published. It might have been, because one of the other stories might have gone between the parts.
That's true, fair enough. The way we're reading it, it isn't, obviously, but...
It says next issue Sonic No More, so I don't think that happened, but it could have.
Right. Yeah. That would be an interesting idea, though.
Yeah, and, case in point, we time skip forward the start of the next part to this seedy bar where these scraggly dudes are gossiping about Super Sonic killing his own crew. Also, is this Coyote dude the same one that ratted on them before? I think it might be.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't see why not.
But this guy in the hood snarks at them, and they pull back the hood to reveal it's Sonic. That's not a surprise, really, but...
Not really.
They're all running away. They're super scared of him because... they're like, oh no, what if he's Super Sonic again? Sonic's like, oh, come on, I won't do that. Just don't get me upset. Oh no, they get him upset.
Immediately, they get him upset by bringing up that Robotnik still has a bounty on Sonic's head.
Yeah, which I feel like that shouldn't faze him. I feel like the killing your friends thing would be the thing.
I think normally it wouldn't, but Sonic's clearly really stressed.
Yeah,
so this has changed. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think he's more stressed right now. So even a little thing like that could set him off.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. And yes, it does set him off. He transforms again. He wreaks havoc on the bar, which ironically allows Amy, Johnny, and Tails to track his energy.
Right.
I have to say, this is wild. I didn't expect Super Sonic to suddenly become like an unwilling werewolf situation where Sonic is I have to cover myself and stay calm, or else I might not be able, I might lose control. It's crazy.
It's interesting, and it's causing problems. He's going. These guys, they're dickheads, but they're ultimately just civilians.
Yeah.
And yeah, Amy, Johnny, and Tails are alive. Sorry for not acting surprised.
I mean, of course, the
plane clearly had nobody in it.
There's no reason to be survived about it.
Yeah. But Super Sonic blasts out of the bar and unfortunately is not any calmer to see them. He rants, actually, about how powerful he is, how he never wants to stop being Super Sonic. Rah.
Kind of weird that apparently Sonic has no memory of when he's Super Sonic. Fine. But, like, Amy's like... oh, Sonic, calm down and all that. They're trying to reason with him a little bit. Sonic's like, nah, I don't want to be like that blue, weaker form of myself. So, like, Super Sonic remembers everything, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's interesting that he has Sonic's memories, but Sonic doesn't get anything from being Super Sonic.
I guess it kind of heightens the threat level, but I don't know logistically what it means. Yeah. But he flies right at Amy again because he's still hell-bent on starting with her. But this is all part of the plan. They unwrap the star post that they brought here. Also, it's giant.
It's been that way before.
We've had multiple giant star posts.
It's gone back and forth, which has been weird.
Yeah.
But they hook up the AI Kintober to the star post with this cord that Amy shoots from her crossbow.
Fucking rad.
But the energy starts resonating with Super Sonic, so it's like sucking him in. And he flies around like crazy, trying to untether himself, but it works, I guess. Normal Sonic falls down and Tails catches him.
Yay!
And according to Amy, Kintober sucked all of the emerald radiation out of Super Sonic and expelled it into the special zone. But then they're like, oh, Super Sonic may still be alive in there.
It's pretty weird. I knew this was coming, and it is a wild idea. I'm interested to see how it's played out.
Yeah.
Yes. So we had Super Sonic, Dangerous Super Sonic, and now we have Super Sonic, Dangerous Super Sonic, separate from normal Sonic Super Sonic. He is alive and he is in the special zone, and it's we have an ominous cliffhanger.
That's gonna be a nice problem for the Chaotix to not solve.
True.
Yeah, but this story rules. They completely turned around the Supersonic dynamic.
Oh yeah, no, this story was awesome.
I frankly I don't care about the fact that it's kind of a retcon because it's just so much more exciting.
It makes Supersonic just more interesting.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of really great art.
Oh yeah, Elson pulling his A game for this, other than aging
kidding.
Tails by 30 years, but you know.
That was a weird choice. It was funny though, so I still consider it peak.
Yeah. So let's move on to something a little lower stakes here with Bubble Trouble, Stringer and Corona. Sonic is trapped underwater in a new Robotnik invention.
Much lower stakes, like goddamn.
Robotnik's like, hey, I've just for the first time realized that Sonic sucks in water. Grimer, let's exploit this.
I'm trying to remember if we've even noticed him sucking in water before.
I mean, he was underwater in that one story with the whirlpool thing.
Wasn't really that big of a deal, though.
Did he struggle?
No, he got out on his own.
Yeah, so far we've really haven't had any Sonic bad in water moments.
Yeah,
really funny here though.
He's supposed to be, but you know,
because Grimer is like, well, yeah, I mean he's bad in water, but somehow he can gulp in air bubbles. Like he's acknowledging the ridiculous of such a thing. And then they're like, okay, let's exploit that.
Yeah. So we are in Labyrinth Zone, allegedly. We're kind of in a jungle above it. We're not really underground. And Tails is like, it's a trap, you know, there's supposed to be a distress call, but there's nothing here. And Sonic's like, it's not a big deal. Let's deal with these robot spiders. And so it's like, we'll attack them. They shoot fire at him. These are not quite any traditional badnik.
I mean, close enough.
Yeah, but he gets knocked into the water, and there's some spiker badniks that are real badniks, although I don't think they appear underwater. This is more like Marble Garden than Labyrinth Zone, really. Although Marble Garden didn't have water. But anyway. Sonic runs low on breath, and so he runs for a bubble, but the bubble is a trap, and Sonic is stuck in like a hamster ball now.
A little bit of a bendy hamster ball.
Well, I have to
He's
wonder,
the bubble boy, basically.
He was breathing it in. How did it end up around him?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he sticks his head in and it's like porous from the outside, stronger on the inside? I don't know.
I guess. I mean, I guess my other question is, what the fuck would this bubble have done to him if he actually breathed it in?
Coated his lungs with plastic? I don't know.
Oh, microplastics.
Delicious.
Yeah.
delicious microplastics.
Anyway, Tails is being overwhelmed above. He gets rid of one of the badniks, but the others shoot him with web, I guess.
Yeah.
So of course it can't be that the heroes work together or that Tails saves Sonic. No, Sonic just grabs two broken pieces of Spiker Badnik and uses them to claw his way up to the surface through the porous bubble. I don't get it.
What I don't get, Sonic being like, I gotta do something fast. Because as I'm breathing, the bubble is shrinking. That's not how breathing works.
No, if anything, it would be filling up with carbon monoxide.
Dioxide, but yeah.
Dioxide.
And yeah, he claws his way up to the surface, Spider Badnik fire blasts him, it melts the bubble, and then they smash the badniks.
You'd think Robotnik would think of that.
I think it was Grimer that made it, but yeah.
You'd think Grimer would think of that.
Yeah, I'm disappointed, Grimer.
And Robotnik's like, well, I'll find some new thing. He doesn't even really seem that upset about it.
Yeah, uncharacteristically calm about the defeat, actually.
Still a good terrifying drawing of his eyes here.
Real.
It is funny how it is still the Adventures of Sonic design, but they make him look as scary as like old school Sad AM.
Yeah.
Anywho, new image. Stringer writing, Carl Flint drawing. In the big city, some tuned-in business moguls decide Sonic the Hedgehog needs a new look. That's very funny considering the redesigns over the years.
Oof.
And yeah, I don't know where this is. Maybe it's Metropolis. It just looks like a big city.
No, Sonic's in our world now. He's in...
Oh yeah, our world, famous for its meerkat and elephant humans.
Yeah.
Those meerkats look very out of place, too.
They do. They're a little too humanoid.
Well, they look like realistic meerkat head on a human body, as opposed to any kind of cartoon animal head.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, Sonic's running. He's stopped by these two prissy-looking business types, a flamingo named Snooty and a hippo named Sneaky.
God, I want to fucking punch them.
Yeah, you immediately get this air of smugness from these pricks. And they're like, you need a new look. We're going to give you green eyes. No,
green eyes and make you lanky.
They say he needs a new look so much that they've kidnapped Amy.
Jesus God, that is such a bold step to take. We want you to hire us so badly, we're going to kidnap one of your friends.
We're doing makeover as ransom.
It really threw me through the loop. I thought this was going to be like a silly story where like Sonic tries a few different things. He's like, can't fix perfection or whatever, but no, this is what we're doing.
He's immediately like, I guess I'm working with you guys then.
Yeah, Sonic does not take this new sitting down, but they call his bluff about it. So he's like, all right, fine. So they put this ugly ass coat on him with ads for their brands.
I hate it so much.
It truly looks awful, especially with the hood up around his quills.
It's so bad.
This needs to be like an optional costume in new Sonic games, though.
Oh, yes. God, that would be incredible.
I mean, Sonic Superstars already gave us Sonic in a Shadow the Hedgehog onesie, so... Badnik attack happens, and Sonic can't fight in this stupid thing.
I love that. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah. And, hey, you know, we're not actually saving Amy. Amy saved herself.
Because Amy's competent on her own.
Nice.
Yes.
I love that.
Well, and also because these guys completely suck. But yes, she helps out. She shoots the robots.
Good. I loves the panel of Sonic ripping the hoodie off. He's like, cool, I don't have to wear this anymore.
It's good shit, yeah. So he destroys the bots. They catch the business goons, who, yes, do indeed work for Robotnik. We don't learn that until afterward. I would have thought it was hilarious if they didn't work for him. They just did this of their own accord.
Well, I kind of thought they didn't, because this plan makes no sense. Why does Robotnik want them to sponsor these people's brand?
This wasn't one of his strongest plans, clearly.
Apparently.
You know, he has so many irons in the fire, they can't all get equal attention.
Yeah, fair.
They tie up the goons, right? And they deliver them to Robotnik, and he says, oh, you'd be better off as Badniks. Which, I feel like Sonic would have to know that was on the table. Like, did he view roboticization as an acceptable punishment for them?
Apparently.
Because they're gonna come back to fight you in that case. That part's weird.
That's a little.
But yeah.
Anyway,
super odd, and Sonic acts all smug at the end, and Amy also. I like this little moment where Amy's like, "Sorry, you had to look stupid on my account." And Sonic's like, "Don't worry about it. Maybe I was making a fashion statement." He says, so that's a Sonic not being a dickhead moment. He could have had a very good opportunity to.
Yeah.
Anywho, Future Shock, Stringer and Corona. Sonic is in shock when confronted with none other than himself, looking a bit worse for wear. Yeah. Generic Badnik fighting intro. Do we need to say anything else?
Probably not.
Not really.
Alright, Sonic chases down two fling buzz bombers, but lands in a swamp. But someone really fast saves him, and it's...
blue.
An old blue hedgehog. It's old Sonic.
Definitely. This is old Sonic.
Yes,
from
obviously.
50 years in the future. And Sonic's like, well, that's a trick. That's not real.
You don't say.
Yeah?
Frankly, you know, considering the whole Metamorphia thing...
I thought it might be Metamorphia, although that would be maybe a little too obvious.
Well, Metamorphia lost her ability to metamorph.
Yeah, Tails mentions that later.
Tails does mention that later this story.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that's a pretty hard thing to forget. That's kind of...
So they didn't undo that, though.
Yeah.
I thought they would have just undone that instantly, but no, apparently not.
So, old Sonic says that something the heroes are going to do will destroy the future, and he needs to change the past. It's Silver the Hedgehog, a decade in advance!
Fucking God.
Gosh.
He also brings up the time stones just to make clear that he's got Sonic's memories, which is...
Right.
At least makes sense as a way of convincing him, sort of.
Yeah.
Well, if that's true, then that doesn't make much sense.
Well, it also
later
doesn't work anyway, because Sonic is not convinced.
True.
Well, and technically, old Sonic should remember having met himself, but...
Yeah, that's also true.
Well, that part of time travel is always weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tails also brings up a time travel adventure of his own, which we won't get to until next week. And there's going to be an out-of-sync moment here or there with these comics. It's not a big deal, though. But they test old Sonic on speed and DNA, and they're like, wow, geez, it really is the same guy.
Yeah.
And he explains that Robotnik is going to unleash a drill from beneath Candlewick Green Zone.
What kind of name is that?
What's the rating, Devin?
I don't know. What does that mean?
I'd say 6 out of 10 because it's not boring, but it's bizarre.
Yeah, it's sort of the same level as like Robotnik Winter. We're like, why did you call it that? But yes, there's a drill beneath the zone that disintegrates Amy, Johnny, and Tails and Shorty.
Damn.
Anytime the heroes have to lose, it's like the excuse is so poor.
I'm surprised he didn't say, Sonic, you died before that because you got a heart virus. But yes, Robotnik imprisons Sonic for 50 years while he destroys the world, and then Sonic ran so fast that he accidentally went back in time.
Yeah, this story is not very believable. Except for the bit about Robotnik locking him up. The frame where Sonic looks so dejected, Robotnik is just looking at the window, being so pleased, is amazing.
I like that his head doesn't even totally fit in the window. Like, deliberately...
You can only get, like, one eye.
Yeah, well, and it's also funny because you can see the outline of bars with, like, light shining through the window. You'd think that Robotnik would look in at him from there, but no, he has to be behind the door. Sonic's like, oh, I would never be that reckless, but, like, yeah, you would.
Generally, yeah.
But, yeah, so old Sonic is like, well, we just have to get to Candlewick Green Zone to destroy the drill before it's built.
Sure.
Which means this is an event that's going to happen soon.
Yeah, which I guess makes it a very convenient arrival time for him.
Yeah.
But Amy starts getting second thoughts, and I guess that's exactly the moment to realize it's a trap.
Tails is like, yeah, I mean, he could be Sonic, but he's never called me Pixel Brain before.
Yeah.
The true tell.
Also, Sonic doesn't come along with him because he thinks it's bullshit, I might add. But
right. Understandable. Have a nice day.
But yes, old Sonic is evil old Sonic. Sort of, not quite. He says that surrendering to Robotnik is the only way to avoid the future where the drill kills them all. Which, no? What do you mean?
No, stopping Robotnik would also help.
Yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense.
Now, in fairness, Robotnik lied to him, but why did he believe him?
Well...
And it's especially with all of this, the evil smirk with, you better believe it, dudes, I work for Robotnik now. It makes me think you're not just trying to be pragmatic, even though that's what the story says you are.
You're just a bastard.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they just really wanted to dial up the drama because that was the end of a part.
Yeah,
It switches pretty quickly after that.
Yeah. Robotnik, of course, once he's got him where he wants him, he laughs in his face for all that. He's not compromising on shit. And in addition, this Sonic is not Sonic from the future. There's not even a drill. No. This is an aged clone of Sonic he made by accident and implanted false memories into.
This is I didn't expect this at all. This is so twisted. I love it.
That was a pretty wild thing.
And I compared him to Silver the Hedgehog before, but a bioengineered 50-plus-year-old hedgehog with false memories made by a Robotnik. It's Shadow.
That's a good point.
He is Shadow, Silver, and Sonic all at once.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, old Sonic is mortified at having been tricked like this. He's so shocked and appalled. And because he is still fast, just barely manages to escape through the blast door on this cave that they have to go get Sonic for help. Our Sonic, that is. And he is now apparently aging faster because he's a clone, and that's what happened to Solid Snake.
I'm about to say, that's some Solid Snake shit.
You can also see that he gets more and more discolored with time, so his color is fading. So yeah, he gets Sonic. Sonic's like, well, what if I don't believe you? And he's like, well, just believe me anyway. And he's like, okay.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. Yep.
So they reach their friends being transported as prisoners. I don't know what they shut them in the cave for. I guess to tie them up or put handcuffs on. But Eggman bursts out of the ground in the not the big arm. What is this mech? It's really weird and kind of lumpy.
Yeah, lumpy arm.
Yeah. But Sonic saves his friends while old Sonic takes on the mech. It does not even get one attack in before flying off.
Gotta wrap things up.
Yeah, we
only got 2 pages left. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this used up all of old Sonic's energy, so he's gray and withering.
And old clone Sonic is like, I'm so sorry I tricked you all. I should never have done that, and then dies.
Yes. I might add,
just in time to get his regrets out, at least.
I might add, he is from the future, and he says, it's no use.
Okay, nice.
Anyway, yes, Sonic's like, nah, you were a good dude, man. And then he transforms into pure energy and explodes into the sky.
And Tails just says, wow, that's what happens when clones wear out their bodies. It's like, is that something we're supposed to know?
Yeah, it's news to me.
It works in this universe, you know?
That's not what happened in Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, clearly the only clone media that is relevant.
Yeah. So that's that story, and that's our stories for today. But you know what? Good episode. I don't think I disliked a single story in here. They were all...
No, there wasn't anything bad.
They were all either exciting and fun, or completely silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the first one with Shortfuse was the worst just for being disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, there wasn't anything bad.
So next time on Deep Dive Zone, we will follow up on that Supersonic plot. We will follow up on stuff in the Special Zone. It's all coming together, and I'm going to be a little bit bored, honestly. But there's going to be interesting stuff. You guys will probably find it more interesting than I do. So,
all right.
With all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my co-host for being here. If you like this episode, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can reach us at any of the links in the link tree in the description, except for the co-host one. I need to remove that one because it doesn't work anymore. But with all that being said, that is where we're done for tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week for another episode. I hope you have a great I hope you have a great rest of your night, and take care.